Hi, it's Steve at Desert Dwellers, and today we're going to talk a little bit about some pistol ammunition. Alright, this is some of the ammunition I have around for the most part. And I kind of grouped it into three little groups, as you can see. This is all handgun ammunition, however, they do make rifles that do shoot a number of the same ammunition nowadays. Okay, now first we have here's a little guy, that's a 22 short. 22 long rifle, next one in line 22 Magnum, 25 ACP, 380 ACP, then I got the second group 9mm, 40, 45 ACP. As you can tell, why there is a group together. The last four, of course, are for, generally speaking, revolvers, even though they do make semi-auto handguns that will shoot these. 38 Special, 357 Magnum, 44 Special, and 44 Magnum. Alright, now this is, though not all the handgun ammunition that they make in this world, this is a lot of it, a good portion of it. They do make a lot more stronger calibers nowadays, and they've had stuff in the past that they just don't make anymore, the 32 ACP, I think it was the ACP, they just don't make it no more. 22 shorts. These go back, I don't even know how long. It's a rimfire. Not used much. I don't know of any autoloaders that could use these. I used to have an old 22 revolver, a Western style single action that I could shoot this stuff in, but that was pretty much it. Now the 22 long rifle, of course, this is the most popular. When people say 22, this is what they talk about, 22 long rifle. There's also one in between these called a 22 long, but I don't have those. I've seen them years and years ago, but I haven't seen them in decades. But this is the most common 22 that's out there nowadays. There's a comparison, the 22 short, 22 long rifle. You can see how much bigger it is. Alright. Next up from that, we have the 22 Winchester Magnum. And let's see, it's actually much longer than the 22 long rifle. Again, there are rifles that shoot these, or pistols that shoot these. This Heritage single action revolver I had, you can swap out the cylinder that would shoot that because they're slightly larger than the 22 long rifle, or a little 22s. It's also a rimfire, but I don't think the camera can pick up just how much of a difference. I mean, it's hard to tell with this stuff, but it is slightly bigger. But yeah, the bullet itself is the same. Okay, next we have the 25 ACP, and then I went back to the 22 long rifle. As you see, it's bigger in diameter, obviously. Even though 22, I believe, is actually a .24 diameter, but the 25 I'm not real positive on. But you can see there is a bit of a diameter difference there. Surface area then, as you can say. This is one of the smallest, if not the smallest, centerfire cartridge I know of. There might be others, but I never ran across it in my years. They're about the same power. Almost 30 years ago, 25 years ago, me and a buddy, we had the identical Jennings little pistols, or little pop metal pistols. I had mine in 22 long rifle. He had his in 25 ACP. And to be honest with you, I think the long rifle gave a little bit more power. We were shooting at a bucket with water, and I seemed to create a bigger splash than him. But they're about the same. Now, the nice thing about these little guys, including the 380 ACP, of course you can see there's a big diameter difference there on these guys. You can get these in really, really small handguns. Guns that were going to fit into the palm of your hand, and we're going to, you've seen the video of the Ruger LCP I had that shoots the 380. The Jennings J22 that I had was about the same size. I got an old picture from '91 that I have that. I'll put that in the video here. I don't think I have any pictures of the Heritage, the single shot single action revolver. But these come in little tiny packages. Slip them in your pocket, so they do have a use. I carry a 380 every so often. I carried it the other night, in fact. Stuck it in my back pocket, had a spare magazine in my front pocket, and I can go with just a pair of slacks and a shirt, and nobody knows the difference. Alright, so now we're going to move up to the next little group of bullets. And these are, even though you get rifles with them, and even revolvers. I have seen some revolvers that will shoot these. Even though these are rimless, what are referred to as rimless, they make a little moon clip that, you clip the thing in and stick it into the cylinder. Anyway, these are your three most common defensive rounds. 9mm, the 40 Smith & Wesson, 45 ACP. Now you can see they gradually get bigger. 9mm, of course, is 9mm. The 40 is actually a 10mm diameter bullet. It is a child of the old 10mm, which I don't have one right now, but I have shot a few in my life, and they're a great round, but a little too expensive to be plunking with, and I just don't own a 10mm handgun right now. Now 45, of course, has been around for well over 100 years, and it's arguably one of the most popular rounds still today after 100 years. Of course, don't get me wrong, the 9mm has been around forever too. Paul Luger built it, I think, in the late 1900s, early 20s, or early the late 1800s, early 1900s, somewhere in there. Is there a big difference between these? Not really. If you're a hand loader and you're not really into it too much, I used to do it from late 80s up until about the end of the 90s. The 9mm has a tapered case, and you can't quite see it, but it actually tapers, and you really got to size them properly, otherwise you'll have feed problems. The 40, 45 have straight wall cases, a lot easier to size. Power wise, obviously you're going to have more power. Though the 9 and the 40 are really equivalent. The 45 gives you a lot of power, but it's again, it's different. It's a big ball. It comes out not overly fast, anywhere from about 850 to about 1100 feet per second, depending on the loads and how many grains the bullet is. But the chamber pressures on 45s are real low. I've always felt, I'm on a number of 1911s, and I've always felt that the 45 doesn't have much kick, probably because of the chamber pressures. It's only around 19,000 CUPs. The 9mm, I believe, are around 38 or 39,000 CUPs, and I'm not really sure what the 40s is, but I would say it's comparable to the 9mm. Now, I haven't owned a 45 in years, but I do own 9, and I own a bunch of 40s, as you know, if you watch my videos. There's always a question as to which one's better, which one's better, which one's better. Well, in the old days, people loved the 9s, and they do, I guess, nowadays, after the assault weapon ban went off in 2004, because you can get a lot of rounds into a gun. But face it, Springfield XD, you can get 13 rounds, 45 into it. Para Ordnance, I think, makes one that has like 14 rounds. My brother used to own one years ago. I think my other brother actually still has his. And of course, the 40s, you can get guns that will shoot, of course, small single stacks, but I got one that has a 12-round magazine, one that has a 14-round magazine, and the XDM, of course, has a 16-round magazine. So you get a lot. Now, of course, the XDM and 9mm, you can get a 19-round magazine. So you still get a few extra rounds because, obviously, because of diameter, you can fit more of these in the same space as you can with these and this. Power-wise, I think they're all comparable. Years ago, I had an opportunity to shoot through some metal plating, some thin sheet metal stuff. Had them lined up with about a half-inch space in between them. The 9mm actually punched through more than the 45 would. This is before I owned a 90 or the 40s. But the 9mm is a lot faster and smaller surface area than a 45. So it didn't have to make as big as hole. So you can see why I would punch through more metal that way. On the other side, you want that stopping power, so you want the bullet to impact into and slow down and give that energy into the opponent. which is why the 45 has been so good all these years. Now back in the 80s, up into the 80s, probably early 90s, up maybe even up through the 90s, I guess. Hollow points, which you should always use hollow point for defensive ammo because bow ammo is good for planking. It is not good for stopping people. Hollow point technology wasn't the greatest, but they have come a long ways, and they know how to make these things mushroom out everything. The 9mm, or excuse me, the 380s that I shoot is a 90 grain. The Hornady. This thing has like a little plastic tip in it, and it's designed to mushroom that puppy out. So I feel comfortable shooting, carrying that one. But these are your three main auto-loading cartridges that you're going to be using for target practicing, self-defense, concealed carry, all that wonderful stuff. Now we're going to go up here to the revolvers. These are rimmed, and when I mean rimmed as opposed to rimless, you can see on the 45 there's an indent first, get that for the whiting back, and then you got the rim. So this is actually the same diameter. On a rimmed cartridge, you can see that the rim sticks out farther than the casing itself. This is a rim. That's you put it into the revolver, that stops it there. That's how they used to do it. 22s are rimmed, as you can see, but the 380, which was designed for semi-automatic guns, is a rimless. And of course, 380 and 9mm, same diameter. They're just shorter. My mom actually used to own a 380 that was designated as a 9mm Kurz, which Kurz is German for short. So there you go with that. Okay, so now your Smith & Wesson, or your 38 Special 357 Magnum can be shot in similar guns. Okay, if you have a 38, you can shoot a 38. You can't shoot Magnums, obviously, because you can see the length of the bullet's longer. Okay, if you have a 357 Magnum, you can shoot a 38 because it will fit. Magnums, of course, a lot more powerful than 38s. But why the big discrepancy in size? Okay, back when the 38 came out, back in the late 1800s, they went by the casing diameter. Nowadays, or more often than not, starting in the 1900s, 20th century, they went by the bullet diameter. 357. This actually shoots a 357 diameter bullet, but the casing is 38 diameter, 3800. So that's why they're the same. And also, for those who really are curious, it's the same as the 9mm. One of my brothers had the Ruger Blackhawk that had a cylinder that you could swap out that would accept the 9mm casings. So now, of course, 38. I'm going to say probably about the same power as a 9mm. Rough guess. I know it's a lot bigger, and I really don't. But I've shot a number of 38 specials in my life. I've owned a few, of course. And to me, it seems to be about the same power load. So, of course, the Magnum, 357 Magnum, a lot more powerful. And then our last two, of course, the 44 Special and the 44 Magnum. Now, of course, this is aluminum casing. This is one of the Blazers. These shouldn't be reloaded, of course. The aluminum, it's like a single-time shot, but anyway. Same difference. If you have a 44 Special gun, you can shoot the 44 Special in. You cannot shoot the 44 Magnum, but if you have a 44 Magnum, you can shoot the 44 Special. I've shot a little bit of 44 Special, but if you're going to have a 44 Magnum, you want the power. Now, that's pretty much the difference in the variety. Though limited, there's a lot more rounds out there. Like I said, the 10mm, which would fit, is more powerful than a 45, but it's actually, somewhere fifth, quarter of an inch taller, more taller than the 40 caliber comes from it. And as I've shot them, they are great guns. The ammo is very expensive, unfortunately. Almost as bad as 357 Magnum and 44 Magnum nowadays. So that's it for this video. Those are your different loads. We're going to go back in and we're going to talk about on the next video a little bit of the guns and stuff about them in each little group, and then we'll go from there. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in that and I'll get to it. Thanks a lot. Bye.